You don't need more camera gear, but here's why you should practice minimalism in photography. What's up guys, a project photography man in the video, and today people, I want to talk about camera gear and minimalism in photography. Now, me personally, I feel like I'm more of a minimalist when it comes to anything. Like, in general, I don't like to have a lot of stuff because I feel like it just adds to the clutter. It kind of gets in your head that you need more things, and I feel like this idea has carried on into photography itself. I'm creating this idea not only as kind of a reminder for all you guys, but a reminder for myself too, because I feel like I'm in that cycle where I think I need more gear. And I know exactly why this is, because first of all, we're in quarantine. We are not allowed to go out until April 30th, and that's a really long time. And by the time you guys are seeing this, it's probably about the first week in April. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm having a really hard time with this because I'm normally a very active outdoor person. The fact that I can't go outside and take photos really does suck. When I'm stuck inside not doing photography, I am using that time for other things, like looking at camera gear, looking at reviews, looking at eBay for prices and stuff. And it's so ridiculous because I know I don't need any of this gear, but I kind of think I need it, and I kind of force myself to say, hey, I don't need this gear. I need to push myself away from this thing because it's really not healthy. And I think a big reason why a lot of other people think they need more gear is because the photography community perpetuates this idea that people need more gear in order to be successful. Look at professional photographers, you could look at YouTube, look at Instagram even. We see a lot of people with different camera gear and more expensive camera gear than us, and a larger quantity of camera gear than us. And we think, hey, we need that gear to be better photographers. We need that gear to be just like them. We need that gear to think that we can do the work that we can. But in reality, none of this is really true. And I think it's a really unhealthy mindset that we kind of put ourselves into. And I don't think it's the fault of the individual, but rather the community as a whole, because camera reviewers are some of the most popular photography YouTube videos online, which is kind of sad because in reality, like, that's really not what makes you better as a photographer. A lot of photographers promote getting better at photography itself. Not a lot of photographers promote going out and shooting. We promote buying more gear, and it's just embedded in our culture, and that's something that I really want to help change. Minimalism in photography, I think, is extremely important. I think it's more important than any other sort of minimalism in life in general. I think specifically because we associate more gear with being better photographers. We need to take that energy we use to focus on getting more gear to focusing on other things, like focusing on practicing your work, focus on going out and actually shooting, focus on things that will actually improve your photography. If you buy gear that you're not going to use, all it's going to do is simply collect dust on the shelf. You're going to be spending hundreds upon thousands of dollars on gear that is just going to be sitting there. You could be using that money for more enlightening experiences. For example, buying a photo studio, going out and going on trips, going out with your friends to places that you've never been before. These are way more enlightening, purposeful experiences than any other piece of gear would do. The only real reason why I think people should buy gear is if it's out of necessity. I put necessity in quotes simply because photography really isn't necessarily a necessity. But there's a huge difference in terms of photography between a want and a need. The way you kind of differentiate that is if you look at your gear and you look at the kind of work you do and you kind of think to yourself, okay, is the gear that I have holding me back from doing the work that I want to do? If you mark a check mark yes in that box, then you probably do need more gear. If the gear you have is holding you back from doing the work that you want to do or the work that you're currently doing, then yes, you do probably need more gear because you don't want your gear to be the thing holding you back from going out and producing more work. But if that answer is a no, then all the gear that you're going to be getting is more of a want. For example, for me, for landscape photography, I have a 20mm lens, I have a 24mm lens, S for vlogging, and then I have a 70-300. Now, I would love to have something like a 15-30 Tamron, but I don't need it simply because it's not necessary for the work I do. My 20mm Voigtlander does the same thing. In fact, it does it better because it is lighter, but I don't need the 15-30. It's not going to add very much benefit to my workflow, and it's really not going to benefit me as a photographer. All it's really be doing is making me spend like $800 more on a piece of gear that I'm not going to be using that much, and really making me feel like I need more gear in order to be better. I think that's why minimalism in photography is so crucial, because you're able to focus on what you need and experiences that you can cultivate. Minimalism photography means that you push away this mindset of thinking that I need the latest and greatest gear in order to be better as a photographer. what minimalism in photography does, it directs your energy from focusing on acquiring more and more gear to acquiring more and more knowledge about photography. Because it doesn't matter how expensive your gear is, how much gear you have, you're not going to improve in photography if you just focus on the gear that you don't have. Focus on the gear that you have right now and use that in order to create meaningful experiences that are really going to propel you forward in photography. Your work and practice is way more important. Just imagine all the hours you put in photography gear, looking on eBay, looking at gear, looking on OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, all these other avenues where people sell and buy gear. Imagine all that time you use there, and imagine that time you could be using on things like YouTube, watching videos that are gonna help make you a better photographer, going out and actually shooting, going out and using that gear money that you would have bought for more gear for trips to places like the national parks, going to places like Iceland and Hawaii and all these other places that will actually enlighten you and give you more of a purpose in life. This is kind of a cycle that we need to break out of as a photography community. It's super unhealthy and it perpetuates this wrong mindset that you need more gear to be successful, and that's simply not true. That's kind of the bottom line I'm trying to get to this video, is that you don't need more gear to be successful in photography. What really is going to make the difference is you going out and actually putting in the work and practice. So make sure you guys practice minimalism photography. I think it's a really healthy mindset to have, and I really think that more people need to be indulging in this mindset. Get out of this idea that you need more gear, because in reality it doesn't really help you, but rather it only makes you worse off. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I just want to say that you don't need more gear, and I think a lot of people need to hear this. So yeah, let me know what y'all think down in the comment section down below. If I'm just going insane, or if just that what I'm saying is completely wrong, just let me know what y'all think down in the comment section down below. Comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.